What if I told you that being broke isn't a math problem? What if it's a psychology problem? Think about it. We live in a world with these invisible scripts, these bits of code running in the background of our minds, all on autopilot. And for many of us, that autopilot is set to the wrong destination. I can tell you I've been there. I used to be a full-blown shopaholic, and I was drowning in over $120,000 of debt. And the worst part, I made decent money. I should have been fine, but my bank account was always on life support, month after month. I had this constant, low-grade panics, and I couldn't understand why. I was working so hard just to stay in the same place. It took me years to realize the problem wasn't just my paycheck. It was my unprogrammed brain. Today, we're not just talking about budgets. We're pulling back the curtain on the invisible psychological habits that are keeping you stuck and how to finally break free. Now look, let's be 100% real. It's not all in our heads. The world is expensive, especially with groceries and rent. It feels like we're in a financial boxing match with both hands tied. And that's real. But there's another fight happening. It's the one that happens at 11 p.m. When you're scrolling on your phone, it's the one that happens when your friend texts, "Drinks tonight?" It's that pit of your stomach feeling. At the end of the month, that "where did it all go" feeling. You work so hard for your money, but you're not getting ahead. Why? Here's the core of it. We are trying to navigate a 21st century digital economy with a Stone Age brain, one that isn't meant to program all this digital stuff. Our brains were designed to find the next meal, to grab the ripe fruit now, and to avoid tigers. We're wired for immediate survival. We are not wired to manage 401 Ks, credit card interest, and Instagram ads. We're not fighting a lack of information. We are fighting our own instincts. And today, we're going to identify the 3 biggest glitches. In our financial brain, it all comes down to 3 invisible battles you are fighting every single day. The first battle is against the person you wish you were. This is fantasy self-spending. Let me tell you a story about Mark. Mark has all this amazing gear, the full kit hiking backpack. He lives in a high-rise and hates bugs. The running shoes he hasn't seen trails in 3 years. Mark isn't buying a backpack. He's buying the idea of being an outdoorsy, adventurous person. He's buying an identity he hasn't earned. We aren't buying items. We're buying a shortcut to an identity. It's the shelf of unread self-help books. It's the expensive kitchen mixer when you only make toast. And this fantasy has a very sneaky cousin. It's the identity of the smart shopper. This is the thrill of the deal. This is when you're not buying the thing. You're buying the win. You're buying the dopamine hit. This is why thrifting can be so dangerous. You walk in and think it's only $5, but 10 of those $5 finds that you don't really need is 50. You didn't plan to spend. This is spending to save. You see a sign. You only needed 1, but you buy 3 to get the deal. You were going to spend 20, but you ended up spending 60 to save 20. The math is fuzzy. A mentor of mine once told me, you save 100% of the money you don't spend. The second battle is against what I call the good times treadmill. This is lifestyle creep, and it's the most dangerous one because it feels justified. Here's how it works. You get a $5 million raise. Hooray, you feel rich. So what happens? It's not one big purchase, it's 100 small ones. Your rent goes from $1,500 to $1,800. It's a much nicer place. Your car payment goes from $300 to $450. You got a new model because you earned it. Your treat yourself coffees go from once a week to once a day. Your subscriptions pile up. And suddenly that $5,000 is gone. It's been completely absorbed. You are running faster, but you are in the exact same place, living paycheck to paycheck, just with nicer stuff. And the engine of this treadmill, the thing that makes it all possible, is the credit card crutch. It's frictionless Apple Pay tapping your watch. It doesn't feel like real money. So many of us get trapped in this cycle. You use the card as a crutch because you're short. Then you get your paycheck, and you have to use the entire paycheck to pay off the entire credit card bill. And now you have no money for the next 2 weeks. You use the card again. It's a trap. This is the final and most important battle. The fight between you now and you future. And for most of us, you now wins every single time. Why? Because of a habit I call paying yourself last. When you get your paycheck. Get paid first. You pay your landlord, you pay the car company, you pay the credit card, you pay the grocery store, you pay Netflix and Spotify, and the gym. And then at the end of the month, if there is anything left over, you try to save it. You are putting your own future at the very bottom of your priority list. You are quite literally treating your future self as less important than your Netflix subscription. And the excuse we use to justify this. That's when the centric thinking starts to settle in. I'll start investing. When I get that promotion, I'll finally make a budget when I pay off this credit card. I'll be good with money when I'm making $100,000 a year. It's like saying, I'll start going to the gym when I'm already in shape. It makes no sense. Good habits get you to the goal, they aren't the reward. And the reason we do all this is the psychological glitch that makes this battle so hard is instant gratification. Our Stone Age brain wants the dopamine hit now. A 50 splurge today feels more real, more exciting than 5,000 inches 30 years. Future you is an abstract stranger. You now wants that pair of shoes. Okay, so we're fighting our identity, our cash flow, and our biology. Deep breaths, how do we win? We don't need more willpower. Willpower is a battery that runs out. We need a better system. Here are 3. You can start today. First, to fight your identity. Use the 72-hour rule. For any non-essential purchase over 50, you put it in the online cart. And you wait 72 hours. What happens? The fantasy fades. Second, to fight your cash flow. Create a reverse budget. I call this the pay yourself first model. Forget tracking every single coffee. It's exhausting. Here's how. Step 1. Decide your future you tax 105, even 1%. Step 2. The millisecond you get paid, automate that transfer to a separate savings account. Step 3. Pay your fixed bills. Step 4. Whatever is left over, that's your guilt-free money. Third, to fight for your future. Practice the joyful no. How do you deal with social pressure? Stop lying and saying, I'm busy. Be honest but positive. When a friend invites you to that expensive dinner, don't say, ugh, I can't. I'm broke. Say this instead. You know what I'm aggressively saving right now? And I'm actually really excited about it. I'm sitting this one out, but let's do a games night at my place on Saturday. Let's bring it all home. Being broke is a habit. That's the bad news. But the good news is that wealth is a habit too. 1. You're not just fighting your bank account, you're fighting your identity. Fund your reality, not your fantasy. 2. Your income is not your wealth. Your savings rate is pay yourself first, not last. 3. Willpower fails, systems succeed. Protect your future self by using a reverse budget and practicing the joyful no. Look, changing these habits is a process. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. In the comments, I want to hear from you. What is the one fantasy self item you've bought that you never or rarely use? For me, it was this ridiculous $400 juicer. I used it twice. Let's laugh about it. And if this video helped you, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Now go make a plan.